Now let's look at week 2, Tuesday. The questions that you did. You can check your books. Number 1, name 3 nutrients that are needed by plants in large quantities. So when we talk about nutrients needed by plants in large quantities, I believe you know, we are talking about macronutrients, okay? We say that we have 2 types of nutrients. We have micronutrients and macro, okay? So micro means small, macro means large. So macronutrients are those that are needed in large quantities, and we have 9 of them. We have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. So those are the 9 macronutrients that we need. And there is also a mnemonic formula that I gave you, so you can use it to master the macronutrients. We have Collins as only 9 past papers, so carry more. And if you check on that, look at that, you are able to see them. So using that mnemonic formula, you are able to identify all the macronutrients. So I expected you to write either of this, or if you're a good pupil, you could have written all of them, because you're supposed to know all of them. Let's look at the next question. Manure which are made from chemicals are called? We call them fertilizers, of course. The ones that are made using chemicals, we said we can call them fertilizers. We can call them inorganic manure. We can also call them artificial manure. All those names are acceptable. So, but I expect you to write fertilizers as the answer there. So that was the answer for that. Let's look at the next one. Number 3, name 4 organic manure. Now we are talking about organic manure. These are the ones that we make using the animal remains and the plant remains. Okay, the one that we make using animal and plant remains. We call them organic manure. So there are 4 of them, and I think we look at this. We have green manure, farmyard, compost manure, and organic mulches. I believe we have looked at that. There is no need to repeat again. Let's look at the next question. Below is a compost heap. Name the label parts. So check on that diagram in your book. It was number 4. So that diagram was there. You are supposed to name X, W, and Y. So X was topsoil, W was farmyard manure, and Y was maize stalks. I've given the same diagram down there, and also I've labeled all of them, and I've also given them the mnemonic formula. You can see this. We say that Dr. Tom abolished FGM killing mothers. Doctor is for dry leaves, Tom is for topsoil, ash is for abolished. Abolished is for ash, FGM is for farmyard manure, killing is for kitchen refuse, and mothers were maize stalk. So if you have this in your mind, you are able to label all the parts when given any compost manure. So you're supposed to answer that. So X was topsoil, W was farmyard manure, and Y was maize stalk. Check on that diagram the way I've labeled it and ensure that you copy it. If you have forgotten, you can check it again using that mnemonic formula I've just given you there. Let's go to number 5. State the characteristics of plants used to make the green manure. Remember I said when we are making green manure, we have specific plants that we are supposed to use. And specifically, we talk about leguminous plants. Okay? Why do we use leguminous plants in making green manure? Because we say that leguminous plants, they are the one that has high nitrogen nutrient content. So you're supposed to use them. But apart from that, we have 4 things that you're supposed to consider or when choosing the plants to use when making green manure. One of them, we say that they're supposed to be leafy in that they're supposed to be having broad leaves. Okay. 2, they should be leguminous with high nitrogen nutrient content. They're supposed to supply nitrogen, and that's why we say that we are supposed to use leguminous plants. They should be able to grow fast, of course. Don't go on those plants that takes time to grow. They should have robust growth, or they're supposed to have to grow very, very fast. Then finally, they should be able to decompose or to rot fast. So these are the four characteristics that one should consider when you want to choose on a plant to make the green manure. Should be leafy, should be having high nitrogen content, should be able to grow fast, and finally should be able to decompose or to rot fast. Number 6. So the 5 pupils of Moifos Academy collected fresh garden soil and heated it strongly. What were they investigating? Someone wrote for me force as the answer. Someone wrote for me Moi. Someone wrote for me Academy. So it's like you're not understanding this question. Moifos Academy was the name of a school, okay, that is used in this question. So the pupils from that class, they went to the garden, collected fresh soil, and then heated. What were they investigating? Before you give out what they were investigating, you're supposed to tell us what was the observation. When you take a fresh garden soil and then you heat it strongly, what were you going to observe? If you remember this experiment, this is an experiment that is used when you want to investigate the presence of humus or the presence of organic matter. Organic matter, remember, are the dead animals or dead plant remains, okay? So we are investigating humus or organic matter by heating the garden soil. And when you heat it strongly, what are you going to observe? You are going to see smoke, and then you are going to feel the smell, that is the unpleasant smell that is coming from that garden soil. When that is done, then you are going to conclude that there is presence of humus or organic matter in soil. Number 7, between the soil particles, there are spaces. Now, these spaces are occupied by, that question was very simple, just like that. Between the soil particles, there are spaces. These spaces are occupied by, so between we call them the air spaces, okay? The spaces between the soil particles are called air spaces. And from the name air spaces, these spaces are occupied by air. Just like that. Let's go to the final day, that's Wednesday. We are going to stop on Wednesday. Number 1, dead animals and plants provide organic matter or humus. Yes, I've just said there. Number 2, the ability of soil to retain water. The ability of soil to hold or to retain water for a long period of time. How do you call it? You can call it water holding capacity, or we can call it water retention ability. All those are acceptable. Number 3, name 3 main types of soil. So these are class 1 what? Some are not able to get that. Sand, clay, and loam. Those are the types of soil that we have. Let's look at number 4. The roughness or smoothness in the soil is determined by, the answer was size of the soil particles. And we say that when the soil particles are smaller, then the soil feels smooth. And when the soil particles are larger, the soil tends to feel rough. So roughness or smoothness of the soil is being determined by the size of the soil particles, just like that. Number 5, the three main agents of soil erosion. Remember, soil erosion is the sweeping away of the top fertile soil. And what facilitates this are called the agents of soil erosion. They include wind or the moving air, we have rain, and we have animals. So those are the 3 agents of soil erosion. Number 6, name 3 factors that increase soil erosion. What increases? We have 4 of them, okay? One of them, we have the slopiness of the land. When the land tends to be too much slopy, then we expect the rate of soil erosion to be higher as compared when the soil is relatively flat. I mean, the land is relatively flat. Then we have the type of the soil that is available in the land. We know very well that sandy soil is the lightest soil. Therefore, if the soil is lighter, it can be easily carried away by wind. And if the soil is heavy, for example, clay soil, it becomes very difficult for it to be swept away. So the type of soil in a given land can also facilitate the rate of soil erosion. Then you have the intensity of the rain, the heaviness. How heavy is the rain? Okay. If the rain is too much heavy, then we expect the soil to be carried away very easily. But when the rainfall is just lighter, then we expect the soil erosion to be least. Then we have also we have lack of plant covers. Okay, when land is lacking the cover crops, there are no vegetation cover in a given area. It means that land, the soil there is highly exposed to wind, is highly exposed to rain. Therefore, any little wind or any little rain that will come will easily carry away this fertile soil, the top fertile soil. So lack of plant covers. And then finally, we have the human activities. Human activities also facilitate or increase soil erosion. These human activities include, we have road construction. You have seen when roads are being constructed, they dig the topsoil, okay, and that one causes soil erosion. We have overstocking. One is having a large herd of cattle in a given land, and these cattle, they are overfeeding on the available cover crops. Therefore, they will leave that land without any cover crops, and this will increase soil erosion. We have poor farming methods, or what is called monocropping. Okay, monocropping will also facilitate soil erosion. Monocropping is a situation where a farmer is growing one type of crop in a given land for a long period of time. Okay, and when this happens, we lead to exhaustion of the we have what is called the soil drainage, the soil capillarity, the soil texture, the soil structure will interfere with. Okay, and then when that happens, that soil will be easily carried away by wind or by water because of the poor soil structure. Then we have mining, especially the quarrying. You know, the mining areas, they expose, okay, they expose the soil or the entire place. They interfere with the topsoil. They dig deep holes there, and you can see what always happens in those areas. There's no any farming activities that can take place in places where mining are taking place. Then you have the bush burning. When you burn the bushes, you are interfering with the trees or with the vegetation. And when that happens, that place will be highly exposed to wind, to rain, and therefore the soil there will be easily carried away. So I expect all those among your answers. Let's look at number 7. Gully erosion is controlled by, so gully erosion can be controlled by construction of porous dams. We have the check dams or gabions. So if you wrote those three, then you are right. Porous dams or just dam. I think we are supposed to write porous dams, check dams, or gabions. Those are the three answers that are acceptable. Let's look at the next one. Let's look at number 9 very fast. Number 8. Mulching helps control soil by, mulching is just the use of dry soil, dry leaves or dry grass. You cover the ground. Why are we covering the ground? We are covering the ground to ensure that we protect the topsoil from being. Remember, mulching is especially used when you want to control what is called splash erosion. So that splash, the raindrop that is hitting the ground, okay, and making the holes. When they are doing that, that topsoil is being displaced. So to avoid or to prevent the displacement of topsoil by those raindrops, we are using the mulches at least to cover the topsoil. Number 9, which erosion is mostly dash erosion mostly occur on steep grounds. So here, this question was asking whether you know the type of erosion that is mostly common in steep grounds. And the answer here was gully erosion, just as simple as that. Number 10, which was the final one, before we go to Thursday that we are going to do in our next lesson. The appearance of smoke with an unpleasant smell when you heat soil in a container indicates the presence of, I think, the same question that was asked in Moi First Academy. You said that when that happens, then you conclude by saying that there is presence of humus or organic matter in soil. Therefore, my learners, we have come to the end of this lesson for today, and please ensure that you check all these questions and you confirm with what you wrote. Could there be any correction that you need to write? Ensure that that correction is done and you write the correct answers. Therefore, I want to stop there. Welcome you back next time on Thursday and Friday's questions. Goodbye.